I know you're only going to use 2 minutes of this.
Thank you very much.
So where do you want me looking?
Okay, I think it's recording.
Yeah. Thank you.
The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Diane is humanity. She's such a humanitarian at a very fundamental level. Her ability to be empathetic with folks and deeply care is something I've never experienced with anybody else.
The first thing I think of when I think of Diane is giving and caring, because she really cares about the community, and in caring about the community, she gives back to the community.
There's not that many people like Diane. All she wants to do is improve the lives of others. She cares the same way about individuals locally as she cares about people all over the world.
When we think of Diane, we always have to say that we think of Diane and Lee together, because they were such a team. They worked together for so many years. They just had family at the front of their minds all the time. But really being involved in the community has been a hallmark of Diane and Lee as long as we've known them.
You know, Diane is one of those people, she's truly amazing. You know, Lee and Diane were married over 65 years before he passed, and there's an old saying about behind every successful man is a woman. And so Diane, I think if you talk to her, probably did like 40 moves from home to home to home, a million parties. She was driven and meticulous and extremely detail-oriented. And again, Lee was very similar, and I think that contributed to the success that they had in many of their ventures.
Diane is really passionate about making a positive difference in the world in a way that is refreshingly sincere and real. She's so gracious, so kind, always welcoming. She's got a smile for everyone. And she really brings you in to caring about what she cares about, because you can't help but appreciate her passion.
Diane gives back to community at the highest of levels by her sense and sensibility of humanity, of doing something for others that don't have enough. It's been showcased, her generosity joined with Lee's generosity over the decades in our city. From the very museum that we're sitting in today, the Children's Discovery Museum and their theater named after them, to Fire Station Number 1, a historic structure in downtown San Jose. The work they have done individually and collectively for this community of getting in and not just writing a check, but spending the time to be engaged is remarkable. They both have been, and Diane continues to be, so committed to her community, as well as international causes.
She sits on the board of the Forgotten International, and that's an international organization that really reaches out to the poorest of the poorest of the poorest people. And she really was touched by that. So not only did she step up to be on the board of this organization, she wanted to sponsor some of these kids. And she and Lee, I remember vividly when Tom would come and say, well, you know, we can save 2 people. And they would both say, we need to save more. We need to do more. And not only the money, but reaching out to the families. Well, we need to take care of the parents. Well, we need to do healthcare. Let's get them Giants baseball shirts. She doesn't just send a check.
Well, I think she's someone who has always appreciated the fact that she's a member of the community and is somebody who wants to give back to the community. I remember, for example, San Jose State was trying to raise funds for the college. And so they decided as a fundraising effort to put what they called gateways around the community. Diane, being very active, she called me up, she said, hey, you went to San Jose State? And I said, yes, you did. She said, well, you need to get yourself a gate. So when there's something going on in the community, some activity, Diane's the first one to call and say, hey, I think you need to get involved, and I think this is something of interest to you.
She always listens to every request she gets, thinks about them, and again, acts or moves forward from her heart. And luckily, she's been able to help over the course of maybe 25 years an extraordinary number of people.
If she chooses a charity or a cause, she researches it, she commits, and then she's determined to make a difference. Not only monetarily, but emotionally and personally, she gets involved. You know, that's really something to behold.
For Diane, philanthropy isn't about the dollars. It's about the heart that she invests care that she gives to the community. It's about bringing other people along to care and have the same passion for supporting and helping. That's what makes Diane so different. Plenty of folks can write a check. For Diane, it's much, much more than that. And she really wants to see the concrete benefits of people pushing together.
I think Diane has been so successful because of her fundamental principle of fairness, of always doing right by others. She and Lee have done that their entire professional career, and I believe their personal lives as well. So when you start with that basic formula of do what's right, always, it's hard not to be successful. But don't let all the goodness sort of hide the fact that she's one hell of a rummy cube player and a really, really, really strong competitor in all that she does. There's this 5% of her that's a bit villainous, that's a bit, will want to take you out in blackjack, in rummy cube, in poker, in gin rummy, you name it. You set the time, you set the day, and she'll be there.
We had a real adventure when we climbed Mount Whitney, and there we saw how Diane has an extremely large amount of passion, and she has a commitment to whatever she does, wholeheartedly.
Yeah, we got to the very tip top of Mount Whitney, and what did Diane do? She pulled out freeze-dried Napoleon ice cream. To celebrate, of course.
Diane doesn't give up. When she decides she wants to do something, she figures out a way to get it done, and she works on it until it's where she wants it to be. I served with her on the board that was raising funds for the library, and every meeting would be, you know, what have we accomplished, how are we going to do it, and she just went about taking it task after task till we got to accomplishing our goal.
When I think of the Boy Scouts, in particular here in the peninsula, Silicon Valley or San Jose, I think of some of the local work that she and her husband used to do a lot of, and she of course continues to do some. But as I said earlier, she cares about people all over the world.
I think Diane's soulfulness, her heartfulness, her presence with individuals one-to-one and in broader settings really set an example. I'm proud that the Boy Scouts chose Diane this year for that very purpose.
Why is she being honored? It was because she deserves it. I mean, she's just somebody who's given so much to this community and has meant so much to this community. It probably should have been given to her 10 years ago, but I'm glad that she's getting it this time.
It seems Diane's being honored by the scouting community because of her love of nature, which fits so well with the mission of scouting. Scouting is about getting youngsters into nature, understanding how therapeutic and fabulous nature can be, and helping them understand self-dependence. As Heather says about scouting, it's all about letting kids go out in a canoe and fall over and teaching them how to get back in. And Lee and Diane have held steadfast in supporting that kind of youth independence and education.
Diane, let me congratulate you on receiving this award. In my opinion, no one deserves it more. I think the world of you. I love you. And please do have a great time on your big dinner this evening.
Congratulations, Diane.
Diane, we're so happy for you and excited that you're being recognized as a community leader that you are. Congratulations to you.
Diane, it's such an honor to witness your achievement by being recognized by the Boy Scouts of America, and I know it's highly deserved.
Diane, congratulations on this outstanding award. It's well deserved, and I just wish you many more years of achievement and success.
Diane, congratulations. You're so deserving of this wonderful recognition. You're such a teacher in so many ways, such an example for all of us to follow. Congratulations. Can't wait to hug and kiss you.